there's another third probably that couldn't care less. You're busy enough with your own lives that my debate with the United States government is no concern of yours. There's one thing that's true of almost everyone involved in these debates. They don't really know what I'd be saying. I think that very few people who are watching this program have read my books. Now we know how the media labels people, how they label Eagleton, how they label Muskie. It's the great sensation game. And it's very hard once they lay a label on you that way to fight back.
When was it that various local and government officials started putting pressure on you because of the views that were made known by the news media on drugs and so on?
Well, I don't know how many Americans know this, but I have the honor of being the person that started G. Gordon Liddy on his meteoric career. As much as anyone in this country, I put Gordon Liddy in the White House.
He was out after you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an assistant DA near Millbrook, New York, where I had a scientific center where we were studying consciousness. And Gordon was a very ambitious. Now, of course, there are millions of people kind of going along on his trip. And in those days, he was the first time that I was harassed by the law was on a Saturday night at midnight. I was in my bedroom with my wife, and I was talking to my son, and the door banged open, and in came G. Gordon Liddy with 24 armed and booted sheriffs.
Warrant? They have a warrant in hand?
Yeah, but the warrant was they found no marijuana. The warrant was thrown out. They did confiscate a little plant we had on peat moss, which was a geranium. But Gordon Liddy then ran for Congress on the basis that he had driven me out of the county, and from there he went to White House as a drug expert. And how did Gordon Liddy get to be a drug expert? Because he had fought Timothy Leary. This has been well known. It's been testified to recently. And that was 1966. And since then, I've been in continual... I know exactly how that system works. So your phone's being bugged, being harassed, and so forth. They tried it out on me before they tried it out on Senator Muskie and Senator McGovern.
If I recall, you recently filed a suit to close Folsom.
Yes, with the help of some prisoners. There's a small group of prisoners here who are attempting to set up an educational program. It's called Probe. They're trying to get it authorized, and they helped me. This is a brief filed and written by called Jailhouse Lawyers. We want to close the prisons because they set up a condition of slavery, involuntary servitude, and the brief spells out how we can deal with the prisoner problem without caging men in a way that's very unconstitutional. And we hope to do it, of course, very legally and with the cooperation of the prison guards and administration. There's something in this for everybody. One thing, I see the United States and the human situation like a nervous system. We're all in touch. I think the problem has been that we've gotten out of touch with each other. We've got to use technology to get into close communication, so that everything we're doing here now is legal. It's with the knowledge of the prison authorities. We want to bring them in. We want to raise their salaries. We want to give them compensation adequate to their problem, because they're facing the crucial problem of how to change men's minds and solve crimes. But we're not against anyone.
Certainly 10 years ago, you were giving advice to people. What advice would you give young people today?
Well, you know, I've been off the air for 3.5 years, and I haven't been giving any advice. I've been letting other people take over to see how good the advice is they could pass on. My main advice to everyone is we got to learn how to use our heads. We've got to realize that the nervous system can be used as an instrument to help us understand why we're here and where we're going. I think we've got to change. We'd like to see the United States move into its third century with the same spirit we had 200 years ago, a spirit of novelty, of there's something great and imaginative and freeing, so that we can have the pride that Americans used to feel. Now, as I look around since I've been back, I don't see that Mr. Nixon or the Democrats have a program that's going to lead us into the third century with this vigor that we need. We'll limp or crawl or kind of stagger into the third century, which I think is a tragedy. So I don't have any advice for anyone. I'm just simply saying that we're going to be broadcasting our ideas of hope and of confidence and of courage, and we don't say we're right, but God knows we're about ready for a new philosophy. It's going to come.
You say you aren't giving advice. Would you give advice on the use of drugs nowadays?
Yeah, I should do that, and I'll look right into the eyes of everyone that's watching this program and say that I don't urge you to take LSD in particular. LSD is the most powerful substance that a human being has ever developed for influencing the mind. I've used the comparison of nuclear energy or a fissionable material. I think that in the right hands and scientific and disciplined and hopeful people, it will bring about changes. But I don't want anyone to listen to this broadcast to get any other message that I'm telling you, stay away from LSD. In the first place, 99% of what's called LSD is LSD. And 99% of the things that are said about LSD are totally lies or fabrications. The whole thing is so confused now that I'll flatly make that statement.
You also said in the past that you are afraid of heroin. You don't like heroin.
Personally, I don't like heroin at all. It's a down trip, it's an escape trip, and although I'm an escape artist, I like to escape to life, not escape from life. I think that heroin addiction is like diabetes, or it's like epilepsy. There are certain people that just physiologically and psychologically are so wired up that they're going to be attracted to this mode of escape. And heroin addicts, there probably would be 60 or 100,000 if we kept the money thing out of it. Could be handled by physical prescriptions, by doctors, just the way diabetics now use insulin. Well, if you passed a law against insulin, immediately the price of insulin would go up, like the price of heroin, and you'd have diabetics going around robbing and stealing to get their fix. But for me, heroin is no trick.
You're sitting here in prison. What are you doing productively? What are you doing to keep yourself alert?
Well, I have no trouble keeping myself alert. There's plenty to do here. The main thing I'm doing is taking advantage of this opportunity to study society from this very interesting vantage point. I'm talking to prisoners, I'm listening to them, I'm doing some writing. I do about 2 hours of physical yoga every day. There's no problem. This is where it's happening, as I said before. It's a microcosm. You've got all the raw essence of human society here. This is where you can really see it coming down. It's a rare experience. It's nothing that I want to make a career of, but it's my ambition to really liberate the world. Why not? I mean, why settle for anything less? And I have a sense of humor about it. I know the odds are against me, but we only have a few years here. Let's try to leave this spaceship a better place. And all the models and all the philosophers and all the men that I think have really liberated humanity have all done their time on the outside. I want to get back in. I think I belong in American society. I think that a society that imprisons its philosophers is playing with very bad magic. You just can't imprison ideas.
You've been arrested a number of times for possession of marijuana. Were any of those legitimate?
No, as a matter of fact, I've never been legitimately arrested. I'm in prison now because one evening I was in a parked car and a policeman came up to the car and opened the door against my wishes, made a pass of the ashtray and said, "You're under arrest for," I said, "For what?" He said, "For marijuana." I said, "What marijuana?" He reached in his pocket. He pulled out 2 joints I'd never seen before, half joints, and said, "You're under arrest." A year later, an Orange County, Orange County jury believed the policeman's story and found me guilty of possession of marijuana. Now then the judge, instead of giving me bail, as I was entitled to for appeal, held up a book that I had been writing and said, "Your ideas are dangerous and we're not going to give you bail and we'll put you in prison to keep you quiet." Now, I'm not complaining, because I think I should have been shut up then. I've been around the United States for 10 years talking and spreading my message, and I think it's good in a public life to a chance to lay back and to see what the opposition is going to do.